Ozempic, Wegovy, Manjaro. Sound familiar? Are you taking any of these? These are the newest, hottest miracle drugs that many physicians think that are on the market right now for weight loss and for type 2 diabetes. Do you know the risks that are involved when you take these synthetic GLP peptides? Do you know the risk? You probably don't, because most of the pharmaceutical companies, and maybe even your physician, they downplay the risk, and there are some pretty horrific risk that they may not let you know. And that's what I'm going to go over today in this video. It's just to share information, let you have all of the information. The purpose of this video is not to tell you not to take these medications. If you were to ask me, would I take them? No. Would I recommend it to my family and to my patients? Absolutely not. One of the main reasons is there's not enough research to show that they are safe. But wait, Jimmy, some of them are FDA approved. What do you mean they're not safe? Yes. Just because they're FDA approved does not mean they are safe. And that's what I'm going to share with you. This is the missing information, especially the big pharma will not tell you, because these medications are a $1 trillion industry. Let's get into the details. So I created this nifty little dashboard, peptide risk master dashboard. If you want access to this dashboard, because there's a lot of information on here, just type into the comments below dashboard, and my team will send you, give you access to it. Okay. We're not going to go over all of the dashboard in this one video. I'm going to split it into many videos. But we're going to go over the main two, the overview and the unknown risk. So these are the risks that you may not know about GLP-1 peptides. In fact, this is going to be similar with most medications. You're going to find that most medications are not proven safe for long term. They're proven safe for short term, but even that evidence is not 100% accurate. We don't even know. You, me, the public, we have no idea. Only the researchers will know. Let's go over first the overview, what we know and what we don't. Now, first of all of this is not my opinion. All of this information that I'm sharing with you is from PubMed.com. It is all research done by scientists, medical doctors. Even among scientists and medical doctors, they fight with each other and they argue with each other. So this is not my opinion. I will let you know when it's my opinion. These are facts, and I have all the resources listed up here. PubMed sources, okay? So what's the most important thing? For me, I'm just talking about myself and my family. If we're gonna take something that is man-made, synthetically made, it's not natural, it doesn't grow from the ground, the first thing I'm concerned about is the safety of it. And not just, hey, is it gonna be safe for me for 1 day, 1 year, 5 years? I wanna know 50 years down the road, what harm is it going to do to my body? Because some medications, they take time to damage your body. It's a little over every day, every year. It's just a little more damage until 20 years down the road, your body's breaking down and you're wondering why. You have no idea. And you ask your physician, could it be these medications, these 20 medications that I'm taking? And your physicians are going to say no. But do they really know? They don't really know, because there's too many variables. It's hard to say one medication. They're going to say, oh, it's not the medication, because the medications are proven to be safe. Well, that's what we're going to get in today. Are they really proven to be safe? So how many of these peptides, synthetic peptides, have a 50-year-old safety study? Zero. Zero of them have a 50-year study. 19 of these peptides, the FDA flagged as unsafe and unproven for compounding, for mixing. Next, you're 9 times more likely to get pancreatitis on GLP-1s compared to a control treatment. This is based off JAMA. Okay, this is a medical journal in 2023. You have a higher risk of getting inflammation in your pancreas. And if you get acute pancreatitis, that's life-threatening. 112,000 adverse event reports analyzed in 2026 off of GLP-1 dosing error study. You probably didn't hear about those, right? Here's the key one that I look for. How many years do they do these studies to make sure that they are safe? Maximum 5 years. Some of them were only done in 2 years. You're trusting 2 years of research. And the research is, I'll show you in later videos, the research is paid by the pharmaceutical company. What do you think they want to show in that research? That it's safe or it's dangerous? These are the facts. All of these peptides, synthetic peptides, maximum only have 5 years. Max trial window used to approve most GLP-1 drugs. You think the FDA is here to protect us. Is it really? If they're allowing these drugs that can give you 9 times risk of getting pancreatitis, they're passing it in just 2 years. Are they really looking out for you? Since I practice Chinese medicine, there's sometimes we have people asking, oh, Chinese medicine is not proven, it's not approved by the FDA because it's not covered by insurance. So it's not proven to work, it's not proven to be safe. These FDA approved drugs have been proven to have a 9 times risk and 112,000 adverse reactions, and yet the FDA still approves it in only 2 years. And they're so-called studied, researched. Core problem, no peptide drug, GLP-1 or wellness class has a 50-year human safety study. None of them. As in the public, how do you know for certain these drugs are safe? Because there is zero study on it. So when they say there's a study to prove that it's safe, they're not lying. They're just not telling you that it's not for 50 years. It's only for 2 years. What happens after 5 years? They don't know. You're the guinea pig because you're the one taking them right now. So FDA approval, what does it mean? Benefits outweigh known, guess what? Short-term risk. Not proven safe for lifetime use. So this is not just for peptides. This is for all medications. You think the FDA is here to help you and to keep you safe, and that's what it's supposed to be doing, but is it really doing the job that you want? I'm not here to answer that. I'm just here to show you the facts, okay? Don't shoot the messenger. So the FDA, they approve all drugs for when the benefits outweigh known short-term risk. What does that mean? All drugs have short-term risk. All drugs have side effects. That's the definition of medications, right? All drugs have short-term risk. But when the benefits outweigh these short-term risks, they're not going to kill you in 2 to 5 years. They may kill you in 10 years, but they won't kill you in 2 to 5 years. But none of them have been proven safe for lifetime use, right? If you're taking these synthetic peptides, right, or any drugs on the market, you are the long-term study since the drug is on market. Let me take this opportunity to also give you a disclaimer. I am not a physician. I was not trained in acute medicine, emergency medicine. I was not trained to prescribe these type of medications. I was not trained to do surgery. That is what Western medicine does. I was trained in traditional Chinese medicine, nutrition, lifestyle medicine, restorative longevity care, which is something I created. My focus is on helping our patients' organs, our patient's body regain their ability to heal itself so that their body reverses their disorder, so that their body heals their health conditions. I don't do any of the healing. My team doesn't do any of the healing. We just assist our patients' bodies to do it. So I got to give you that disclaimer. Otherwise, Google or YouTube will shut down my channel. So the GLP-1 drugs are the most popular right now. And this is what the researchers have found. They have found the GLP-1 drugs, the semaglutide, to increase your chance of getting pancreatitis by 9x. It's 900 times. You're also, when you take these drugs, you have a double risk of getting gastroparesis. Basically, your stomach starts to empty slower. But the problem is when you get off these medications, you still are left with that problem. And that creates a whole number of nutrition deficiency problems, okay? You have 2 times the risk of getting bowel obstruction, constipation. There are thyroid cancer signals, acute kidney injury in vulnerable patients. The max trial window, they only ran it for 5 years. Even in these 5 years, they found all these problems. So after 5 years, they don't know what other problems are going to happen to you. The next one, BPC 157. There's no FDA approval for human use. The FDA actually flagged this one for impurity risk, animal data only for most safety endpoints, angiogenesis tumor support concern unresolved. What does that mean? Actually, if you have cancer, if you have a tumor, it makes it more cancerous. Gray market purity unknown. Okay, so you may have a risk. They're not listing what's the risk. Of course, they're not going to share that. If they have to tell you that if you take this peptide that they made, you're going to get cancer, the FDA is not going to allow it. Another peptide, CJC 1295, you see increased heart rate, insulin resistance, edema. Oh, it's just going to poison your liver. If you have some type of cancer, it's just going to make it worse. It's going to spread even faster, right? Heart failure concern, you've got heart problems, it might just make your heart stop. So not FDA approved. Key risk factors. So the GLP-1s, which are the most popular ones right now, right? They have the highest risk. So GLP-1 also are very high risk to damage your pancreas and gallbladder, your cardiovascular. You've probably heard that these peptides are supposed to help your cardiometabolic panel, right? Your cholesterol, your heart is supposed to help it while you're taking it. Well, guess what? Just like any other man-made medication, whatever the medication is used to treat also has a side effect: thyroid cancer signal, kidney injury, tumor. Why does this keep happening? Because FDA approval standard, that's the problem. The FDA approval standard says benefits outweigh known risk, but none of them have long-term safety. The trial length, they only do it for 2 to 5 years. Chinese medicine has a 3,000-year-old time-tested history. It wasn't done in a laboratory paid for by big pharma, but it has been in the society, in the public. It is no different. If you are taking these GLP-1 drugs right now, you are the test guinea pig. Chinese medicine has already done that for 3,000 years. For hundreds of millions of people have already gone through Chinese medicine and proven that it's safe. But because big pharma doesn't control Chinese medicine, so they want to promote Chinese medicine is not proven safe. You got to be careful of these herbs. They can be toxic, heavy metal, but they don't talk about this. The own drugs they're producing has so many life-threatening side effects. 30-year effects are unknowable at launch. So FDA is approving these big pharma companies to sell these medications to you, the public, with very little research, very little safety concerns, okay? You got to ask yourself why. Post-market surveillance, real people must be harmed first before data accumulates. Guess who those real people are? If you're taking them right now, you are. If you get any of these kidney injury, thyroid cancer, right, you already had a pre-existing problem. When your cancer accelerates and gets worse, you go from stage 1 cancer to stage 4 in just 1 year. The pharmaceutical companies have lawyers that are going to prove that, to say that it was not their drug because you already had cancer when you took this medication. Lobbying. Document clinics dispensing FDA flagged peptides due to lax enforcement. So FDA has very lenient enforcement for the big pharma. Why is it so lenient for things that can kill us, but it's so strict for things that can actually help us? You got to ask yourself that question. If you're taking these GLP drugs, you are carrying all the risk. The seller carries almost none of it legally. So, hey, again, I'm not telling you what to do, but you need to know this information. So the unknown and partial known risk. Lifetime effects are modeled statistically. What does that mean? That means there's no research done. They are assuming the risk through statistics. Do you know what the definition of assume means? It means to make an ass out of you and me. That's what the word assume means. When you assume, usually you are wrong. Not observed in real people for decades. So 20 to 30-year organ damage is structurally unknown at approval. So when the FDA approves big pharma to sell these drugs to you, 20 years down the road, will your organs die because of these drugs? There is no research done. Will it be harmed by these drugs? There's no research done. If you take these drugs for 20 years, what is the damage to your organs? There is no research done for the safety of it. Okay, this is what is not known long-term. Thyroid cancer signals exist. Conflicting studies, long-term cancer risk explicitly uncertain per regulators. That's just another way of saying there were cancer risks, but there's so-called not enough people had that thyroid cancer accelerate or was caused, right? And they just don't want to report it. Pancreas, 20, 30 years of GLP-1 stimulation in pancreatic tissue, unknown, right? Pancreatitis confirmed elevated early. So in these 2 to 5 years, your pancreas is already getting affected. But late fibrosis and chronic damage is unknown. But it's already causing, in 2 to 5 year study, they already had healthy people. They don't allow sick people into their studies. Healthy people should be able to eliminate toxins. Their bodies are able to eliminate toxins, drugs faster than sick people. If in healthy people in 2 to 5 years, these drugs are already damaging their pancreas, what happens if you are an unhealthy person, your organs are already damaged, and you take these drugs? You just got to think about that. Gallbladder, rapid weight loss, stones, sludge, cumulative gallbladder damage, unknown. Cumulative. Do you know what that means? That means you take it, every dose, it just keeps on adding, just more toxins. It's like if you were to drink gasoline every day. You drink gasoline every day. Maybe the first day your body's able to eliminate the gasoline, but you drink it every day. Eventually, it's going to break down your body. That's cumulative effect. Eyes and nerves. Rapid glucose changes linked to eye complications. So in 2 to 5 years, people taking these drugs, they already had eye complications. Observational studies ongoing. If the studies are still ongoing, why did they release this drug? Why did the FDA approve these drugs to be sold to you? Kidney dehydration, driven acute kidney injury. 2 to 5 years, you already have kidney injury. I'm not going to go through all of this. You can read through this. Take your time to read through this, right? Insufficient information to know whether it would cause harm. Angiogenesis means cell growth, new cells growth, usually cancer, right? May support tumor feeding. So some of these wellness peptides may feed your tumor. So some physicians believe we all are carrying some type of tumor. Maybe it's dormant, right? It's not active. It's not malignant. We all have cancer cells in our body. And when they clump together to form a tumor, sometimes it spreads, sometimes it's just dormant. Taking these wellness peptides may feed it to make it malignant. Malignant means they'll start making babies, right? Extremely thin human data. Pituitary DNA damage shown in animal study. Pituitary is your master hormone gland. If you damage that, all of your hormones will be out of whack. Fatal risk, ipamorelin. Fatal risk means it killed somebody. One clinical trial stopped early because of heart failure. Heart failure, your heart just stopped. Again, if you want access to this, comment dashboard below and my team will get you access to this, right? I know I've just spread a lot of negative news about peptides, but this is just information that you probably didn't hear. You probably weren't given by your physicians. Some physicians love this new peptide, some don't. You need to talk with your physician, point out all these side effects, point out all these risks. You need to decide. Physicians and practitioners like me, our job is not to make the decision for you. Our job is to give you all the facts so that you can make an educated decision, right, for yourself, for your own health, your family's health. That is the purpose of a healthcare practitioner. It is not to force you into anything. Now, of course, some people don't care. They just want this instant fix. They want to lose weight, drop 50 pounds in a week. They want their diabetes to just magically go away. They don't care if they're going to die next year, right? I know everybody's got different goals, different opinions. That's for you to make. It's not for me to make the decision, right? So future trainings, I'm going to go over the rest of the dashboards. There's more shocking information that you don't know about not just peptides, but how the FDA approves drugs. Again, the FDA, I'm not saying they're bad. They do some of their job, right? But sometimes there's some questionable decisions. But that's for you to decide. I'm just here to give you the information. And again, all this was not my opinion. It was from PubMed, research done by scientists and physicians, right? I'll see you at the next training.